Welcome back to the Trophyz and Medals podcast. The Ebbtide crew is back. We had a lot going on the past couple of weeks. We will be covering NFL Week 1 and Week 2, fantasy football, FIBA national basketball team, music, entertainment as normal. But before we get into the business, we had some events happen over the past couple of weeks, so I'm handing it over to the Ebbtide King, which I would say as the leader of the group is on the right that he bring forth this information. So, go ahead.
All right, this is definitely gonna be a dedication episode to one of our Ebbtide originals, one of our Ebbtide ladies that we unfortunately have lost a couple of weeks ago. This is our boys, the twins, Sean and Jason's baby sister. She was definitely a pillar to our block. She had a strong foundation. She was special. We all loved her and everything. So we're gonna miss her deeply to this day. We're gonna keep looking out for our brothers. To this point on, of course, even stronger than ever. But basically, at the end of the day, we just want to say we love you, baby girl. We miss you. We're going to miss you, and you're going to forever be in our heart. One love.
One love. All right. Appreciate that. So, with that said, like we said, this episode is dedicated to her. But we're going to always bring the heat as normal. So, first off, topic we're going to get into is now football is officially back. We had week 1 and week 2 as we're recording this on Sunday night, officially kick off. So, one of the hot things we're going to get into first is apparently we've got a critical injury of the New Orleans Saints. So, I actually missed the actual injury, but what we just discussed, it's not looking too good. So what do y'all think the Saints is going to, even if it's a short-term injury, what y'all think is going to happen with the team as far as holding down a division?
Balance out the division. I mean, I look at it as they're still the best team still among the division of how everybody looking right now. So,
right.
But it's just the fact now. I know everybody, the reckless Saints fans, who they are. They already on Bridgewater saying he sucks already off the rip. I don't like that. The man just got his first time really getting in the mix.
Yeah.
You got to give him a chance here. Get him like a full week of now running the show and just see where it go from there.
And no meaningful football since 2015.
Right. So he's super, rusty there. So it's going to take a minute.
And people forget that he almost lost his leg.
Right.
So, I don't know. But he did. I will say this, though. In the preseason, he was looking a little shaky. He was looking a little hesitant. So, is that going to carry over into the regular season?
I don't think so. I think, what the game plan was Drew Brees' game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you don't have that anymore. Well, we don't. That's still up in the air at this point. But I think once you get the game plan around him and to his strengths, I think they'll be in good shape. I think he just today he missed a lot of he missed a lot of opens that Drew would have seen easily. But,
of course.
Right, he just got to get his timing together right now and everything.
Yeah, you got to get those first team snaps in to get that rhythm. Because I'm pretty sure him and Thomas wasn't, they were never on the field at the same time in the preseason. So I can imagine there's going to be a slight delay. I mean, during this particular game, yes, you're going to expect to have some miscues, but I think next week he has to come through early in that first quarter, and I'm pretty sure Peyton's going to draw up something in that first drive because he's known for having his scripted first 15 plays to get him some easy throws, get him some confidence builders, and then take it from there.
Right.
These next 2 games are not going to be easy, too. Seahawks and then Cowboys.
And speaking of Peyton, I don't know if y'all heard this too, he signed a 5-year extension today.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm guessing next draft, you can imagine that a quarterback will be drafted within the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. That's a given. That's a possibility given.
I don't see who's good enough this year to worthy of being first 3 rounds.
Even if it's still early in the college season. You may have somebody that breaks out, but
right, like there's Tua, and then
the kid from Clemson. Is the kid from Clemson eligible?
No, he got 1 more year. He got 1 more year.
Yeah.
So but
2 years from now.
Yeah, that means y'all have to. That means they had a super tank to even get either one of them guys.
Yeah,
so
they're not going to do that.
Right, exactly. So, like you said, just now we'll see what they do once they find out, the fate of Drew right here, because they say he's about to see a specialist out there in LA while he's there.
Yeah.
About the thumb, so they'll know something by tomorrow.
That's real. I mean, that's unfortunate. I'm not a Saints fan, but I always wish well for the Saints, for the city and the well-being of the city, because I feel the city is a much safer place when the Saints are winning. But it's just misfortunate event to have him injured week 2.
Well, I'm highly disgusted because he's on my fantasy league, so I'm now got to scramble for me a quarterback. So I ain't feeling this right now. I'm highly disgusted.
I think I got a quarterback for you, man. I got your favorite quarterback of all time, Ben Roethlisberger, on my bench. So.
Whoa, man, you can keep that rapist where the fuck he at. Keep this shit where the fuck he at. Man, I will roll. I know who I'm gonna roll with, and I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't need nobody gonna go on the waiver wire going to get him, because he actually been playing fairly decent right now. So I just thought about somebody, since I know that other person on this goddamn line here ain't gonna around here be a team player and give me Lamar Jackson. Around here with King's Ransom. I ain't giving up King's Ransom. So
I need to look at your roster, man. That's all. I need to look at what you got.
You're playing me this week. You're playing me this week right now. You want?
I don't focus on my team. I focus on what I can do.
Well, I don't
in the projected points. I don't look at what you got.
Gotcha. I don't have nobody right now that's worthy enough for me to be around here giving up. I need everybody I got right now. So I'm gonna just work with somebody else. But as of now, since like this Drew throwing Snapple around this camp here,
snap your fingers, do your step.
So exactly. You can't do none of that right now. So it just is what it is.
But I do remember you had Sammy Watkins. I knew Sammy Watkins wasn't gonna do anything this week because he's better. He's better at being a number 2 than being number 1. Not that Tariq Hill is gone.
This is true.
So
just the fact, I saw that too coming, so I knew that they wasn't gonna make him, because everybody was gonna make him the focal point, and he wasn't gonna do nothing and everything, because like you said, Hill is out right now.
Hold on, wait a minute, time out. I'm looking at the standings. Anthony, how your son leading the league in points?
He let her. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, hey, trust me, we've had conversations about how he let us. No, we need to let everybody know he's a 7-year-old that did this. 8. My bad.
His numbers,
Well, 8-year-old around here spank his own pappy on his first week 1, and off the rip, it dropped 236 to be exact.
Yeah.
And making moves.
And making moves. I do. I keep him up to date because he has a certain amount of time on his tablet. So I do give him the news. I play fair. I don't want, like I tell him all the time. I don't want you to have no excuse of why I beat you. No excuse. And then sure enough. What I didn't factor in, he plays on his tablet. He plays a little Madden app on his tablet. So he's well.
He's well aware of who's the talented players in the
Yeah.
NFL.
But unfortunately, one of my failures as a parent, I let my city down and probably the rest of the NFL world down. But he's a Cowboys fan. I'm raising a Cowboys fan in my household.
Yeah, you definitely failed.
Yeah, you failed in
Seriously.
life.
Yeah, you failed highly as a father
So
to the highest level.
you know that first round of the draft, well, you know who I'm getting first, Daddy. Like, okay, no, yeah, I'm not surprised. Everybody else will be.
Hey, but at the same time, you got to hold like, remember you had your sabbatical here in Dallas for a hot minute. So, hey, hold that.
Mm. No comment.
we just gonna say, We just gonna say,
Another time.
Yeah, exactly.
There may be another Ebbtide classic moment down the line, but for now, I think that might be too hot for the radio right about now.
Yeah, what I'm just saying.
He knows what he's doing. He asks me what's going on, especially since he has Antonio Brown on his team. So
but I think he's going to take. I think look right now, it looks like he's on pace to take an L to Jason.
Yeah, but he has player playing tonight and another one playing tomorrow.
But it's projected Jason's going to get 197. Yeah. He's going to get 175. So I think he might be.
Yeah, he's gonna take a looking like he's on pace of taking that L.
He is of the mindset. I was supposed to lose to you last week, Daddy. So that's all I'm saying. I was supposed to lose to you last week. We'll see how it goes.
Right. But we got a couple of players that has been off the charts between week 1 and week 2. One, like as mentioned earlier, Sammy Watkins, he had a big week 1.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson had a big week 1
and a week 2.
And week 2, we want to see if he can keep that pace up. Trying to think someone else. Derrick Henry, he had a big week 1, week 2. We unfortunately took an L today with the Titans.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley going to be a consistent numbers every single week.
With the L, though. He's going to hold them L's. He's going to hold a lot of L's in New York.
Them numbers going to be real there.
Who are some other players? I feel like I'm missing somebody that stepped up big. I mean, Dak Prescott, that's another one.
Actually, the rookie there in Phoenix.
Oh, Kyler?
Yeah,
I got him on both my fantasy squads. I think with him is the fact that it's going to be a high volume pass offense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like the Steve Nash effect. It's like the ball's going to be in his hands so much that he's going to get stats one way or another, whether it's going to be passing, running, even if he doesn't get touchdowns all the time, which I don't think the Cardinals are going to get too many touchdowns. But the fact he's going to get so many yards and attempts on both passing and rushing it's going to be, as far as fantasy wise, it's going to be very effective. Actual football wise, they're going to be, even though they've been competitive, it's going to be a struggle. I think they're on the cusp of something as far as if they can get some more weapons. I think actually they should worry about offensive linemen first and getting some consistency up there, and then building around him, get him a tight end, get him a big receiver, and take it from there.
Right.
What about, do they still have the Cardinals, David Johnson?
Yes,
Yep.
Johnson. I got him on one of my fantasy team as well. He's been playing well.
He had a productive game this week. First week he did, but this week wasn't as productive.
Because you're going to get, depending on how you do your league, if you do in points per reception, he's going to get you receptions and rushing yards because they don't have many wide receivers they can throw to. So Johnson's going to be a check down option, swing pass, screen passes, stuff like that. So I think at least for me, I felt he was a good pickup because they really don't have many options to throw to beyond Fitzgerald and Kirk.
Right. So yeah, so like I said, because next week gonna be more interesting because you got Baltimore going against KC.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of high flying.
That's gonna be a very interesting game there because KC defense still is suspect.
That's what I'm about to say. There's gonna be no defense played in that game.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore defense is a lot better than a little bit more better than doggone KC's, but the fact is still KC.
Playing KC, exactly.
Right. So it's gonna be very, very interesting of how that balances out. That's for sure.
And that Hollywood kid from Baltimore, he's getting respect off the rip to be a rookie.
Yeah, that beat is real.
I'm about to say, you can't, regardless if you're a rookie, 5-year veteran, 10-year veteran, when you run that fast, it don't matter. It don't matter. Especially when this is the problem with Baltimore. It's like you got to stack the box because they got a run game between the quarterback and the running backs that they have.
Right.
And then if you peak in the backfield for 1 second, he gone.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, because he had over 120 yards rushing this week. Now, last week he barely ran under six times, and this week he ran like 13 times and had a $120. So on top of throwing for throwing for like over 250. So it was just like right now you're at his mercy, and he's still no turnovers.
And he looking like he was looking in college.
Right, he's very comfortable right now.
Mm-hmm. And I give credit to the coaching staff on that because this is not the offense that Harbaugh would like to run. I don't think.
No, but you
gotta adjust to your personnel, put him in the best position, and he's fucking looking great. He's looking right. It's scaring me, as far as in the AFC, because to me, I don't even think he's reached his potential, anywhere near his potential.
Oh, no.
And I don't even think he has the real weapons that he needs. Like I feel he can have better running backs. I feel he can have a better tight end.
I think the tight end's gonna be all right. He got rookie tight ends, so I think the tight ends he's gonna develop.
He can develop. You're true.
They're gonna develop with the tight ends. I think that's when they drafted tight ends this year. So I think he's gonna develop rapport with the tight end game and everything going forward. Now he still needs some. The Hollywood, and then with having a Hollywood kid too, that's a good look too. But they're gonna still need a bigger possession receiver in a bigger picture too. Right. But overall, they're going in the right direction.
It's gonna be scary.
Yeah, because the way I like this, it's almost like you got a Lamar Jackson under control Michael Vick, which is scary to say.
Yeah,
that's how I look at him, as a control Vick.
Yeah, that's.
He can flick that ball. He flicks that ball just like Vic can with the same zip.
Same ease.
Yeah, same ease, but actually a little more accurate. That's the scary part. He's a little more accurate than Vic. The speed and run ability, all there. Okay. So
it might be a problem for the next 10 years, man.
Exactly. So that's how I look at that also.
So a couple other games that stood out this week so far on today. Of course, New England won big against Miami. No surprise there. Antonio Brown, even though going through his personal issues.
Personal issues. It's called stupidity. Personal is like you just unfortunate situations that has presented you in your life. This is just called flat out, he's stupid.
Yeah.
Because he's a nigga.
You don't think this has anything with him being on the Raiders previously and screwing up your team?
Oh, no, I ain't like him for you when he was over there with the Rapists.
When he was, one of the Steelers. He take it with Ryan Clark. You come after Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark don't bother nobody.
And he felt away.
He really don't.
Yeah, even Ryan Clark said, "Yo, don't give him no money because he gonna change." Ryan Clark exactly told the Steelers, like, I'm gonna tell you now, just be prepared. He gonna change, but y'all give him some money.
Mm-hmm.
He called it. He called it.
Yeah, so he called that ASAP. So it ain't about I didn't care. I didn't want him as a Raider, but he was still a nigga. You come on, man. I told you, how you gonna dye your mustache? You ain't rap like you dye your mustache.
Nah.
He out there looking like Hulk Hogan from NWO.
Yeah.
That nigga looking like a crazy crackhead that he just did too much drugs, man. That's all he looked like. He looked like a typical. He looked like he from Florida. That's for sure.
But no, another thing, and I think I put this in our group chat when I seen the picture of the girl, and I was like, oh, he got him an ERG. He in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like that. He, like you said, he made some bad decisions, and some signs was given to him. Yet he continued to make bad decisions. Like we always say, you're making bad decisions in the pocket.
Yeah.
You're out there looking like David Carr under pressure.
And the sad part is nobody's telling him no. Nobody's sitting there saying, hey, man, this ain't right. What you doing right here, man?
And I think that's a lot of things. That's a big issue that a lot of athletes have is having people in their corner that will tell them the truth. Now, whether you listen or not, that's another story. But just amongst us three, we've all had conversations where we look at each other like, "Come on, man,"
Oh yeah, trust me. Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations. Tell people to go home and stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Great job, man. Great job. You sitting them.
I played a little point guard in high school, man. Just out here throwing them up.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta tell people to go home. They don't go home. When you see, we clearly need to go their ass home. But hey, they don't go their ass home. You get a phone call 6 o'clock in the morning looking for people. But hey, it just happens in life.
Off the glass, Kenyon Martin from Jason Kidd. But yeah, as far as having that support group, as far as you need a trainer. Okay, you're a professional athlete. You telling me you couldn't find any other trainer to commit to better your career? You know what I'm saying? Right, exactly. That to me, that's a questionable decision right off the bat.
And you a nigga.
At the same time, I think I kind of see him going down the same road as Michael Vick. When Michael Vick, when he got out of jail, I remember him sitting down. I think it was with Jim Moore Jr. when he was with the NFL Network, talking about, you couldn't tell me anything. That was this had to happen.
Right. In order to check yourself.
Vic was still in his 20s though, man. This dude, this nigga is 31.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's no civilizing this one. He is who he is. There ain't gonna be no moment of truth of like, he ain't gonna have no aha moment. He gonna have an aha moment when his ass is in jail. Or
that's what happened to Vic. That's what he was saying.
True, but guess what? But he ain't gonna get no return back into the league. It's just over.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he's on his last leg here.
Because it's a different position as a quarterback. Like, Vic was a unique quarterback that you have no choice but to at least give him a look. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Versus a wide receiver. I think a wide receiver, even though Antonio Brown might be top 5, top 10 all time, you can at his age, you can find another guy that can produce similar to him. Maybe not exactly like him, but similar to him, to where your team doesn't have to go through the headache. Yeah,
you got to move on to the next. Yeah, you're moving on to the next receiver now.
And I think also with their number 1 draft pick being out too, I think maybe the New England Patriots, like maybe this guy, maybe Antonio Brown is for now. This is a $9 million thing for now until this
1 year.
Yeah, because remember too, they was trying to trade for him through Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh didn't want to do no trade with him because of the fact that it's in the conference and they didn't want to make them even stronger than what they already were. So that's why, Pittsburgh didn't want to work no deal with them. So, and how I felt like that was already a conspiracy that he tried to work his way out of my team's graphs anyway. Like, I think all this was a setup.
Yeah.
So I looked at it as he knew that he was gonna work himself out of the, he didn't want to come to my Raiders, period, in any way. Like, I already knew he was coming in there with the energy of like, you know what, I'm not gonna practice. I'm gonna just do whatever I gotta do to get out of this deal in the bigger picture. Which is still dumb because you got $30 million on the table here, but you still gonna try to work your way out of this deal.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still, like I said, you could tell he ain't rap too tight. That hit from Burfitt has taken a complete toll on him to tell you he ain't thinking straight.
Did I send y'all that? I sent y'all that meme. It was like he hasn't been right type since.
Yeah.
And that made a lot of sense, man. Because like, yo, why would you even do that? But I can tell you this though. I know when Mike Mayock, our GM, made this trade, I feel it in my soul. He looked at doggone Gruden and said, yo, I'm gonna make this goddamn trade. But I'm gonna tell you this, the first time, and he may not have said nigga, but I'm gonna tell you, this motherfucker though make one, I swear if he tripped one time, he gone. I want him gone. I said, I'm making this move for you, but I don't want this. And that's why, like, you saw that he kept coming at Mayock than anybody else, because Mayock wasn't playing that with him.
Right.
Mayock was like, I'm about that action. You want to go there, we can go there. And I'm
a former DB.
Yeah.
I'll run it on like wide receivers anyway.
Exactly.
Straight cover 2.
Right. So
bump
like,
coverage.
I swear I know that Mayock looked at the Gruden and said, I'm doing this for you, but I'm telling you, the moment he tripping, he gone. And that's why, like, Mayock was doing everything he was doing, and then, like you said, then Antonio want to post the fine and all of that stuff.
He ain't playing that.
Yeah, I ain't playing that. And then they while they talking about then Antonio wanted to say he wanted to call him cracker, and I bet you it took everybody in there. How you gonna tell how your boy Bedford gonna be the one gonna be the voice of reasoning? And came in between these two for fighting. That was crazy. So that lets you know, like, Mayock was ready to slap the fire out of him, because Mayock is way bigger than Antonio Brown. And nobody, Antonio Brown.
That's what they always notice too about Mike Mayock. Mike Mayock is sneaky big.
Yes, he's not. He ain't no little white dude, so it ain't like no. You about to run and think you about to run off. Antonio Brown would have got really slapped.
Yeah, still in shape. He was working out with these when he was at NFL Network. He was working out with these draft prospects.
Yeah, he was on the field with him. That's what I'm saying. That man is a nice. He is a he's a solid cat still. Even the man in his mid 50s. And I think that man was really itching to slap fire out of him. So that's why he was like, I ain't got no problems with this of letting him go by no shape or form. And that's why I said I'm glad he gone. And now that with all this other stuff happening, now I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of raised the eyebrow once this other situation came up. I said, whoa, did we drop the dime on him? I raised the eyebrow like, yo, cause with the girl, the timing of it, and they were at the time they were saying the girl. Well, they said the girl was coming at $75,000, but then they just said he rejected $2 million. So I understand all those numbers. Yeah, so I see the numbers was all thrown off, but I just looked at it. The timing was a little bit strange. I did raise the eyebrow at my team a little bit, like, yo, we being fouled like that. But
if so, that's bad.
I respect that petty game. Nah, man. Because you know why? Because he made sure to get out of. He's doing all he can to get out of from our team. So you know what? Then if that's the case, then we're gonna drop this dime on you so that you can't even play with the Patriots. You just be on the exempt, that commission exempt for the year, and then until they figure it out, nobody can have it. And then now the Patriots still will have to pay him his salary for the year regardless. So he's gonna hold that.
Because the NFL they meet with this week, right?
Monday.
Meet with
on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think with this time with how Goodell dropped the ball with Ray Rice, I don't see that.
He ain't gonna press repeat on that one.
Yeah.
No. So no, so like you said, I think we had supposed to meet with her this week and everything because she just got married last week or something, and all of that nonsense. I don't know how in the world that dude married her, but hey, Mo proud to that man. But after hear some of the stuff they said he did to this chick, like it violated her to that level, you still still married. I'm like, y'all commend you.
No, you know why he married her. His feet was curled up like Eddie and Boomerang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Former gymnast.
Yeah.
Former gymnast alert.
Dumbass, but still, though, I get it, but you ain't got no pride though, no self pride though. I mean, you still could just hit it and quit it, but you ain't gotta be boo boo the fool and still sign up.
Yeah, I had a former coworker who married a father. Like, hey, Andy, she a former gymnast. Like, okay, no, don't. Okay, you don't know, you don't understand. Like, all right, bro, good for you. Damn.
What Dave Chappelle says is like, you can't ask about political stuff, but they'll tell you about their personal business. Dave, back off, man.
Right.
But meanwhile, I was smashing my wife in the ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, like that's just ass. I guess it's fact. Ass backwards is ass backwards. But hey, I get it. I guess. But hey, excuse me. Shit. I'm a man. I guess I'm just somebody that got pride, and that ain't gonna sit there looking crazy in these streets. Like, yo, that's your woman. Like, nah, I don't want nobody knowing what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo.
But more to come on that. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have more ammunition next week on that topic.
And we ain't worried about no dog on Raheem Goodell. Raheem Goodell sucks. We just keep that rolling.
And for those that don't know who Raheem Goodell is, that's our fantasy football commissioner, who's in LA, probably in tears after the Saints game. So
that why I got drowning his tears at rallies right now in LA. So we ain't worried about him.
Extra cheese and bacon.
Yeah, he ain't got no concerns about us right now by no shape or form. But he sucks as a commissioner to the highest level.
And as a producer, because he is supposed to be the one editing the audio, and yet I am the person that is doing this for the past 4 podcasts. So
pow, whole lot. We're gonna take these shots all day till he get his act together.
A couple other games that was some big ones today. San Francisco blew out Cincinnati, 41-17. Potential there as far as NFC West competition. I don't see Cardinals being competition.
No.
And I see they may be the only option to go against the Rams.
Seattle's still there. What about Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle, man.
I mean, I will say I think what's going to happen is the Rams is going to take a step back. How far a step back, I don't know. But I feel Seattle's going to be a little bit better, even though they made the playoffs. So it's going to be competitive. I mean, I see San Francisco maybe winning like 7-8 games, but they're going to probably win some crucial games that are going to impact playoff seeding.
Right, yeah, they can blow up some people's spots, situations in the long run. It'll come back to haunt them down as the season keeps going on. Yeah, so they're not gonna be. Yeah, the Niners are not gonna be no walk in the park team. That thought was gonna be an easy victory.
And both of their wins have been on the road so far, right?
I believe so.
Yep.
So that's a big thing.
Right. And to go from the West Coast to the East too. And winning, even though Cincinnati sucks regardless, but it's still the fact that you went, another time zone and in an early game on top of that, and then blow them out like that. Their defense is real though. It's just that offense is the side that was their wild card on them anyway. The defense is on point.
Mm-hmm. Another big win. The Lions snuck in and got one against the Chargers. Chargers are inconsistent, to say the least, especially without Gordon. Right. So we may see more of these games of them, giving them away. Being one-dimensional is going to be an issue for them. Buffalo sneaks in, beats the Giants. This might be the trash bowl of the year. I will say I appreciate Josh Allen getting me some points in my fantasy squad. But if you play fantasy football, if you got a player that's playing against the Giants, you might want to put him in.
Oh, no doubt.
That's going to be that's between the Giants and the Dolphins. That's going to be the gimmies all year, all year. I don't know any other team that's going to be that much of a gimme as far as getting some type of points from them in fantasy. As we mentioned earlier, Seattle got them a W today as well. Pittsburgh, I don't know what's going on there. I think it's
the Ravens got hurt, so it's all that matters. Woo!
he got hurt with a non-contact injury.
So I think it's a matter of them, one, his injury, but two, I think there's a lot of players now that's at skill positions that's expected to put up numbers that never been the main guy. You know what I'm saying? For Connor at running back is one thing to be in and playing and saying, oh, Bell may be coming back. So you're playing with house money. So you just kind of winging it. But once everybody knows you're going to be the guy and they're watching film on you, that changes the game, as well as Juju, as far as going from a number 2 receiver to number 1. You go from being a guy that's getting one-on-one coverage because it's being double teams on the other side of the field. Now you're the guy getting double teamed. So how are you going to get open? So I think they're dealing with a lot. And then their defense is just not the same type of defense that they had in the early 2000s and late 90s. For the past 20 years, we've been knowing Pittsburgh to have defense, and they're just not built like that no more.
Yeah, defense coordinator plays. He's with your team now, right? Is he still?
LeBeau, who came over the Titans. But he was 105 years old. But
mine's still sharp as a tack, though. So
I agree, but at some point, like, you telling me you don't have somebody else underneath him that can have the same scheme? Like, it's not. I don't think it's just the scheme. I think it's also the players they've been drafted. Like, when was the last defensive player that the Steelers really hit on
it's been
the draft?
That's true too. Trust me.
Doing
all this. I gotta make that phone. I gotta make that phone call to the second ex-wife soon too.
What?
The second ex-wife is a Steelers fan, so I gotta call her and take shots at her.
Oh Lord. We'll come back to that in the Ebbtide Classic moment at the end. But no, I was saying about the Steelers, like, it's a shame, but like the last big name defensive player that the Steelers drafted was probably like, New Orleans East own Ike Taylor. He was one. Ryan Clark, TJ.
Well, no, Ryan Clark started off with the Redskins.
You're right. What about TJ Watt? I don't think he's even producing at a high level, in my opinion.
He's producing, but like it's
not
losing a riot, So you're gathering up empty stats.
Right. So they've been hitting. They haven't been hitting on the draft. I know in the past, in the 90s and 2000, they do more in free agency, but like to me, their biggest issue is that they never had a solid secondary all at once. And now in this age of the NFL, where it's a pass-happy league, you can't put out one good cornerback and expect that you can be consistently good on defense.
Right.
So, it worked in the past, but now, you blitzing and having 4 linebackers out there, you're putting yourself in a position to catch an L, because I'm pretty sure every time they meet up with the Patriots, they get spread out and they get picked apart.
But to your point about, was there anybody under Dick LeBeau? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of, position coaches that was underneath them, but there's some things you can't teach. Like, I like to use Nick Saban, for instance. None of his assistants has ever beaten him.
True. You don't show him everything. You don't show him everything.
Right.
So
That's a good point.
Wait,
he could.
have your boy not? Oh wait, what's not your boy? From Clemson was there and Alabama.
No.
Cliff is an Alabama. Sweeney is an Alabama graduate, but he was never an assistant.
He never was assistant.
Oh, okay. Then see, I couldn't remember that. All right, good call then. Okay, touche then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he won a national championship with them, and was at '93 when they beat your Canes.
Hey, hell, I need that friendly reminder. But I got it.
But I mean, that's a good point. But at the same time, if you have talented players, it kind of doesn't matter who you have at the coaching position. Like I said, I feel they've been shortchanging on getting talented players on the perimeter for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, their drafting hasn't really been that strong and good. Have they changed GMs or something over these years or something? Because they just don't draft the same.
I'm not sure.
I don't think they changed GMs because they don't change coaches that often. They've had 3 coaches.
Right. 3 coaches in 50 years.
Yeah, as long as we've been alive. So I doubt that GMs is changing that often.
Yeah,
that might be something I have to research, but it's, I don't know. At the same time, you can't hit at every position. Everybody has their personality as far as what they're looking to build a team, and running back has been something that they've been strong on having, and they've hit a lot of times at running back, whether it's been in free agency or in the draft. They've had great quarterbacks. They've had great receivers. They've had great tight ends. Then they had great offensive linemen, linebackers, some of the greatest linebackers of all time. So at some point, you got to find a hole somewhere. So, we may be critical of their decision making, but at the same time, when they do pick elsewhere, they hit elsewhere. It's not like they bums.
Because it's always then. But at the same time, too, even with their secondary, they always had at least 2. They always had a good safety and a good corner at the same time. Cardell Lake, and Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had
Taylor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they always had at least a combination of the 2, and right now they just don't have that combination of the 2 in the secondary at this particular time.
That's a good point. But like you said, it's only so much you can hit on. It's because
and in the position you fall in the mix of drafting and picking and things like that. Who's coming out? It's always all about timing, also too. So it's very interesting in how that can fall into play.
And then another thing too, I think the loss of DeShazier really hit home with him too.
Yeah,
that's a good point because he was pretty much like a safety playing linebacker.
Yeah.
So he could have been somebody that's covering ground. But like you said, and it's not just even on the field; it's just even in the locker room.
Right.
But I've heard rumors that they're going to have him be like a position coach or something like that,
which is good.
Which they should do. And that's the Pittsburgh way. They keep everybody in house, kind of like what the Cowboys do. So, not a surprise there. But like you said, on the field, he could have been someone that made a lot of difference as far as play calling, putting people in the right position,
exactly,
and scouting and things like that. So, but on the other side, they catching L's. So.
I'm enjoying it.
KC, of course, won today. Bears won today. Tomorrow we got the Browns and the Jets, which is going to be a horrible Monday night game. I don't even think.
Why in the world would you put the Jets? I understand the Browns, but why are we having the Jets?
Le'Veon Bell, and it's New York.
Sam was supposed to be there.
Yep, he got mono.
Who the hell he been kissing on to get that? That is gross, but still, it's the Jets. Nobody wants to still see no Jets on Monday night. Not this Jets team at this particular time. They need to earn their value to get to this level.
Yeah, and it's an early season Monday night game. That's the other
Yeah.
part about it too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure I'll be editing the podcast when I come home from work tomorrow. Oh, fumble! Falcons got the ball. The Eagles are shitting it up right now.
Yeah.
But moving on. So, like I said, it's been great to have football back with week 1 and week 2. So, Titans 1-1, so I can't complain. Even though we should have won today, our Raiders are being Raiders.
Yeah. Hey. We 1-1. I'm not knocking it right now. I see potential there. But I'm not holding my breath. But I see we going in some type of direction. It looks good though. For once, I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. So, a lot of potential between our squads. Touchdown Falcons, maybe. Oh, they're down to the 5.
So yes, I see everybody. Yes, I definitely see everybody. Within our clique, everybody's 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's early in the season. Everybody still has hope. So
we'll know after week 4. Then that's when we'll know our season is gonna be something or it's over.
I'll still be wearing my Vince Young Suicide Doors jersey, regardless. So
I don't know about it. I'm still day to day with my team. I'm still ready to jump ship and be out. But hey, I'm holding in right now. I'm holding in.
So gotta love football. That was my first love. So which most people wouldn't believe. But,
Right. This is very surprising.
Yeah. Well, my dad played semi-pro, so and my brother was pretty good in his right. So I'm the only eyeball in the family that's basketball first. So I mean, I should even saying that I'm probably the only person in the clique that's basketball first.
Well,
Maybe Cedric probably.
Yeah, because me, I'm more track. Because I'm definitely track. And it is football. I mean, not football, but baseball.
Yeah.
Probably baseball, soccer, then football.
No. I would say baseball, football, then basketball, then soccer. But soccer is moving up. Not at my Liverpool Reds. It's just they acting like donkeys now. They doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the Champions League title last season. So and it's just funny how I was able to get into that. Working at my hotel back in Louisiana, and we used to have these Brits who worked at Rolls Royce, and they would do some rocket testing at the Navy base nearby. And so, it's the spring, no real competition is on until NBA playoffs. So I had it on. I'd always put soccer on for them and everything. And then one time they had Man U and Man City on the TV. And they were like, is this live? I'm like, yeah, it says live on TV. He was like, so they're playing right now? I was like, yeah, they're playing right now. And you didn't have to pay for this. No, it's on NBC Sports. Excuse me. They called it. They made a phone call. He's like, oi, have you made it there yet? It's like, yeah, we're about to pull in the gate. Turn around. We're not working today. He's got the Manchester Derby on. So, like 20 minutes later, there's like, I shit you not, about 30 Brits in my lobby.
Watching
soccer. And like, okay, is this for real? To watch it with some real, like, and from the stories I've heard, like how they say that a Saints game is probably the closest thing that rivals. A Saints home game is the closest thing that rivals a regular game over there. They like we American sports does not even touch European soccer at all. Just with the the fanfare and all. Not even because the Saints is the closest to it. And the sad thing is you don't get the drink at the game. So a lot of them, they go to the pubs before the game, get drunk,
get messed up,
then go to the game. Then when the game's over, you go back to the pub, and then you go home and wake up with the hangover, not realizing, did I actually go to the game? And you watching the game again the next day.
Yeah.
So that's
dedication.
Really that's dedication.
Yeah.
So I've really gotten hooked on these last 5 years and all, and the money that they're making is ridiculous.
That's the motivation right there. That's the motivation, man. I wish I would have stuck with soccer. I remember 7th grade at PE, we was playing soccer or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the coach out there had the wise idea, is like, because I was tall early. He was like, why don't you go play goalie? So I knew nothing about soccer. Mm-hmm. So I'm just out there. I think we played for like a week. All that week, nobody scored a goal on me. But this was the thing. I wasn't catching the ball. I was just batting it.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because I didn't know the rules. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just batting it. And then like one kid came up to me and was like, hey, you can catch the ball, right? And I was like, I thought the rules was you couldn't use your hand. You couldn't, use your hands or whatever. And he's like, no, if you're a goalie, you can actually catch it and then you can kick it downfield.
You don't want to touch it.
Man, once they told me that, man, they didn't score a goal on me for like 3 weeks. So like, so they was trying to get me to play on the team. But the thing is that soccer and basketball was around the same time. Right. So I was like, no, I'm going to basketball tryouts. We got tryouts on Tuesday or wherever it was, and then I ended up getting kicked out of school anyway. But that's another story. But yeah, it made sense because I was like in 7th grade. I probably was like 5'10", so I had the wingspan to cover the goal and the agility from basketball and football. Yeah. That could have been easy money.
I mean, the technique from soccer, just how it translate into NFL. Like Chad Johnson grew up playing soccer. That's why his foot speed,
route running, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, same as Odell.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greats of all time, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, Hakeem. Yeah, that's
straight child abuse.
Yeah, that feet speed is. That's a lot of the players in the NBA now, and that's actually a great transition. Yeah. As far as the FIBA World Championship, so a lot of I don't know if y'all realize this, but the players that won the awards this year, majority of them were international players. So our MVP,
right,
Giannis. Mm-hmm. Most improved, Spicy P, Siakam. Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, Gobert. Who was sixth man? Was it Lou Will again?
Lou got it again.
Yeah, Lou got it again. He's actually, I'm pretty sure he's like East African descent. Like he was born in Atlanta, but I'm pretty sure his people is from East Africa, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So the international.
Cool. Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
Luka. You know what I'm saying? So it's our best players in the league are international players, and it's not from them playing basketball year round. Most of these guys played other sports growing up. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that we're missing in the United States is that with this AAU thing is you got to play 12 months a year to be great at basketball. And that's not the case. Because like we mentioned before, Odell Beckham Jr., he played all sports and was talented at all sports. Like we've seen video Odell Beckham dunking, windmilling. We've seen him play soccer. We've seen him hit home runs. And and these players are great at all these sports, and it's not from them just being concentrating on one.
Right.
And I think also, to me, and this is one thing I learned when I started coaching here, is you need that combination of the other sports to enhance you. So as a basketball player, I feel it helps you to play some football because you're not going to shy away from contact.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I appreciate y'all too for beating me up as a kid, because I didn't, once I started playing kids my own age, I didn't caught enough elbows and undercuts and stuff already to, you know what, this is what it's supposed to be, and I'm not scared of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and I think same thing with, vice versa. If you play football, I think that finesse and that artistry as far as playing basketball, if you play like quarterback, like to me, playing quarterback, and say if you was an option quarterback, if you play a point guard in basketball, running the pick and roll is like the same thing. You know what I'm saying? As far as reading what the defenders are going to do and making your decision. So the fact that these players are just being concentrated on one sport doesn't make them better. It may make you run drills better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make you a better overall player. Like these international players were more physical than our Team USA team. Like the fact that they were just seeking out Kemba Walker and getting switches and posting him up for this guy that's all NBA, they didn't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, you're going to get this work. You're going to get on this block and you're going to guard me. You know what I'm saying? Because the guards in the international game is more physical.
What Jordan and doggone Scotty had did the coach, it got real in these streets. Like it's like, yo, we are not gonna allow these US cats to just be abusing us no more like they did to one of they thought, because Kukoc was, one of the great
The
ones of
GOATs,
the Europeans. Yeah, but it was the way how Jordan and Pippen just abused him in the US. They're like, nah. Like you said, in the Olympics, it's like we are not gonna allow this to ever happen again.
But it was a different time. I think
the
dream team.
I think those coaches took that and they made sure to enhance these kids a lot better in the future.
Was also it encouraged the kids, because the dream team, they motivate a bunch of kids to play basketball. So like I was saying before, it's like it might have been kids that if they didn't see the dream team, they might have just stuck to soccer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But once seeing a dream team and seeing Jordan, dominate, Bird, Magic, Pippen, Barkley, it was like, oh, let me check out what this basketball is about. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, too, those coaches remember those games too. It was like, man, y'all beat us by 70 points.
Yeah. I think the average was like 35 points. But that first dream team,
right?
Average point of victory margin there. So. Yeah, it was a wake-up call for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And also, just the changing of times, because now you can, even if you are in Africa, you're in Europe, you're in Australia, you can pull up on YouTube and watch film of your favorite player and mimic your game behind them. Versus in '92, you didn't have that option.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're still hearing stories about Arvydas Sabonis, how great he was in '84, and we ain't got no footage. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we can now we have covered the globe as far as showing the NBA game has been a gift and a curse, because now, even though we're making money off of it, we've also given ammunition to the other countries as far as enhancing their players. Because, for example, Canada probably had at least 8 NBA players that didn't play. Australia had a handful that didn't play. I think Serbia has some NBA players that didn't play. So like they had players that, even though we talk about the NBA players sitting out as far as USA, these other countries had players that were sitting out. Like Paul Gasol didn't play because he was recovering from a surgery. So we kind of, either way it went. I mean, of course, it would have been better if you have LeBron, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, but it still were talent that was going to be out there. And like I said, Canada was one of the teams and Australia, because like if Ben Simmons would have played with Australia, they'd have been a dog.
Yeah.
So
But here's the other thing too that I think we overlooking too is that outside the U.S., fundamentals is preached a lot more than
definitely,
it is here. I mean,
one stat I saw is that for the World Championships, we had the worst 3-point shooting.
mm-hmm.
So on twofold. So one, you got the worst 3-point shooting in the whole tournament, and two, you got Matt Barnes playing center. Not Matt Barnes, Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes, which is even worse.
Right.
Like
he was playing center.
Yes.
Oh my
wow. Well, that's say no more. Then that's why we sucked.
Miles Turner might start the game up, but they was playing a lot of minutes of Harrison Barnes playing the 5.
Oh my God.
So only way you can do that is if you just either knocking down a bunch of threes or you ISO Joeing these cats to death and breaking them down, and they were not doing either. So it's Now Hassan, I think I said that to y'all. He was even when that Turkey game when they won that one, he was just like, hey. Like he was saying the other day, like there were signs that this was coming. Like you lost against the G League team in Kenya.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was seeing those little things and stuff like that. So definitely saw it coming.
And everybody was like, oh, don't worry about it. You struggled with Turkey. They had to miss 4 free throws in the clutch in order for you to make get a foul and get 2 free throws to win a game. Like that's not something you should be proud of. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like everybody just kept being passive, like, oh, it's going to be okay. It's always going to be okay. But, like, you had no dominant inside presence. Like, Miles Turner was like a stretch 5. You had Brooke Lopez as a stretch 5. And you had Mason, what's Plumlee? Was it Mason Plumlee? I don't remember.
Yes, that's what his name is, yeah.
So you had nobody, because in the international game, they actually post up. Nobody does that in the NBA no more. So you had nobody that can have their back to the basket game. You had nobody that was a consistent rim protector. You had inconsistent rebounding, and you had inconsistent shooting. Like there was nothing about the team that was dominant. And there was just too many games where they did not have the best player on the court. When they played against Greece had Giannis. They had the best player on the court. When they played against whoever the Joker, Jokic plays for, they played Serbia, when they played them, they had the best player on the court. When they played against France, and when they lost, they probably had with Gobert, probably the best player on the court.
Right.
So it's and they didn't even get to Spain.
And that was the thing. The red flag for me was when the Serbian coach was talking mess. So I feel sorry for the U.S. when they face us, if they got to face us. Like, boy, who's you?
Because he had NBA players on the team.
Like, all right, yeah.
All-star players, all NBA players. So like you said, they've been waiting for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been executing. So it's now one thing I will say for the Olympics next year is that the top tier players, they gotta show up. You can't finish 7th, or I think it was 7th, 6th or 7th in the world.
7th. Yeah, they finished 7th
in the World Championships, and you say, "Oh, I need to work on my game. I don't want to go to China or wherever it is at for the Olympics." Like that's not going to be an option. Like you gotta go out there and perform. Even for like LeBron. LeBron, I don't care if he got to go out there in a wheelchair. He needs to be out there, even though he may not play major minutes, but just to the fact to have that mentality, that killer instinct on the court, and getting the players right. Because even with the younger players, like the fact that like Devin Booker didn't play, the fact that De'Aaron Fox, but I heard that when De'Aaron Fox played in the scrimmage, he only played 6 minutes, and they said like the next day he was on the next flight home because he was mad because he didn't get no minutes. But that's part coaching. But there's still a lot of young players that's out there that didn't even get consideration for the team. Like why Jimmy Butler?
Why not? Yeah, why we didn't have the younger players just playing in the first place? Like that's hungry enough to want to do this and everything, and then you shorten them minutes.
Now there was some that turned it down, but it was like I said, there was some players that were either not offered or they'll end up being cut or not getting enough opportunity to play. So, I think they're going to take another look as far as how they're going to approach this thing to make sure we put a competitive team out there.
Gotcha.
But the other side of that, as far as NBA, is after investigating some of the free agency signings and transactions this summer, the league is looking at to increase their penalties for tampering up to $10 million. Do you think they're bluffing, or do you think they're going to actually enforce something? Now, I don't think they're going to maybe get to the point where they have to put $10 million on somebody, but I feel they're making a solid threat.
I get the threat that they're doing, but it's just like
it's kind of late.
It's kind of late. Yeah, it's kind of late, and it's like, why not?
To me, it's kind of like summer '98 with the home run chase with Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. Y'all know they was juicing.
But now you want to say something about it.
You want to say something about it. You knew everybody was talking to each other.
Yeah.
You knew that. It's the off season. You know what? I think it's a big deal if it happens during the season.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're in the off season, man, the gloves are off. We got to get. That's when it's time to get dirty. But I get it. As long as it's during the season, I'm all for that fine.
Well, I heard it's going to be like a couple of things they can do. One is up to a $10 million fine. It can be potential forfeiting draft picks, potential cancellation of contracts, which I think will be a crazy extreme. I know Bill Simmons said that was one of the rumors why Paul George didn't even meet with the Lakers, because it was tampering with that. So there was kind of like an under the table deal. It's like, don't even think about going to the Lakers. Otherwise, it ain't gonna happen. It was avoiding the contracts, fines, and fining the players as well.
Why?
Because you're engaging in that activity as well. So, like, for example, if I tell you that free agency starts on July 1st at 6 p.m. However, you're having conversation with the team at 12, you're accepting that dialogue. So why wouldn't the player be held accountable? Like, you should be able to say no and say, nah, let's wait till 6. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense that half the league contracts were being posted by Brian Windhorst and what's your boy? What's the other dude that does the bombs? Woj bombs. By 3 p.m. Like, that makes no sense. Like, that's just a blatant slap in the face of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Which I understand they're trying to get the news out, but they actually sold out these teams and these players because you're showing that they're having these conversations early. Because not only are you saying this person is signing with them, you're saying, oh, this person signed 3 years and 64.75 mil. Like, you down to the T.
And I think that's another case where their sources are involved, and you got to protect the source and everything, and if they don't do it, somebody else is going to beat them to it. So it's a whole of that, be it first.
But at the same time, I heard, I'm pretty sure it's like, I know with ESPN is when you break a story, you have to give up your source. So I'm pretty sure the NBA should have access to that information as well, because that's what because I know originally when they said they was going to go into this tampering thing is that they're going to ask for emails and cell phones. So you get those unnamed sources,
Right.
they're going to be exposed. But
I mean, I look at if it's not broke, why are we trying to do this? I get it, but don't get it. But like, look at the excitement that you just had this past season.
Yeah, excitement this past off season, and then on top of that, it's 10 different teams now that's in the hunt. Not 4, not 3, not the same 2 for 4 years. It's 10.
And that's great for the league, but at the same time, you know who's complaining about tampering? Those bottom 10.
Well, they need to stop sucking.
that's the
bottom 10 that ain't trying.
Right.
They ain't trying. We know where they stand at. They are who they are.
That's the problem that we have is that they're the ones complaining and crying wolf, but at the same time they're crying wolf, but like the Hornets, they're not willing to pay a guy.
Right.
But then you're gonna talk about the Celtics is tampering. Because I guarantee you they're one of the teams that complain about it because the Celtics had his offer on the table early, but at the same time you had the ability to pay him 200 and whatever million, but you decided that he wasn't worth it. But you're going to complain about the Celtics,
and now you see why too. You saw he sold off part of his team, huh?
Yep, I was going to get to that too. It's like, even though he got the team on the hookup, basically, I heard that part of his deal to taking over the Hornets was he paid off some of their debts. They had some type of debts or whatever, building the arena and stuff like that. So he pretty much got the hookup on the team. But, like you said, it's a financial move because, again, you decided not to pay an all NBA player. So now you got literally nothing on the team. You got Malik Monk and Miles Bridges.
Right.
But you can't complain about tampering. Like that's ass backwards. Because you wasn't even trying to sign this guy anyway. But you want to talk about them being tampering. But that's how it goes, all those, you talking about spoiled brats with money, and that's what these owners are.
Yeah. It's a tax write-off.
Mm-hmm. Strongly. Right. So that's like you said, Phoenix, the same way, like the people are so disgusted with the owner with Phoenix, how he's not technically trying to win or anything like that. But he wants the taxpayers to pay for a new arena. Mm-hmm. And like, how we gonna pay for? Well, we don't want to pay for the new arena if you keep keeping this whack ass team out there.
But yeah, he still swindled his way to getting that vote.
Right.
And if wait, where's that? The Cardinals where they play? Is that in Phoenix or is it Tucson?
I want to say Tucson.
Tucson.
Yeah, if I'm them, I convince them, hey, come play in our arena.
Right. Why build a new one when we can play in this one? We can throw the wood out there.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it moving.
Yeah, just making them the Arizona Suns. Fuck Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because I don't think they play in Phoenix no more. I think they play like in what is that? Chandler? I don't know. I don't think they.
It's like it's a suburb right outside of Phoenix,
Yeah, I
actually.
don't think they're in Phoenix. They used to be in Phoenix, but I don't think they're in Phoenix no more.
Yeah, because they want to build a stadium in downtown Phoenix.
Oh wow.
But that's where the fans are like, we don't want to pay. They don't want to pay the tax dollars for that.
Right.
So yeah, they had a woman that was like all in her like
I forgot.
in her 70s saying, "Yo, we don't want these problems.
Yeah, I forgot her name.
We don't want."
Because the
NBA,
the jump was always bringing her up.
Right, because she was breaking it down like, nah, I'm in a fan and I lived in this city this long, and I'm not going to sit here paying for this owner that's not trying to give us a good product.
Right.
So yeah, so that lady was she was very vocal about, nah, we ain't trying to do this. Like they said basically they want the NBA to force him to sell a team.
Yeah, but that's going to be difficult to make happen.
Exactly. So.
But
yeah, that's that.
But it's it's still in the off season. I still feel there's going to be another big trade that's going to happen before the season starts. I don't know what. I mean, the obvious is Bradley Beal, but I still feel it's going to be something else that's going to happen. That's going to shake the league up.
I think that's still going to happen before the if it's before the season or maybe before Christmas. With the Brandon Bill situation, I still see that happening. And then too, you see the rumbling. They talking about Wade might come out of retirement to go play with the Lakers.
He ain't doing that. That boy just had a baby.
Hey, they live in LA right now.
I don't think that's gonna happen. And that's the other part about it. He don't even fit what they need.
I know.
That's the same thing that happened when he went to Cleveland. It's like he wasn't what they needed, and that's why he ended up getting traded out of there. So I don't think that works. Like, no.
Who give Melo a chance?
I don't see that happening either.
That's crazy that Melo been blackballed out the league, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I know we talked about my theory, but when the whole Black Lives Matter thing happened and they spoke at the All-Star weekend, it was Melo, Wade, and Chris Paul. All of them.
Oh yeah.
All of them is either out the league or not playing. Which Chris Paul is pretty much being told that he's not wanted on the court. So I don't know. That was one of my theories. No, that's just one. That's one thing me and Rashawn talked about. It was like,
yeah, we had talked about this, yeah, but and it definitely made some sense. I did get where it was coming from, but I was just like, wow, that's how we gonna do it like that.
Like it was All-Star. It was one of those All-Star weekends, and
that was ESPYs.
Yeah, and they all had, they all spoke out.
It was the ESPYs. Yeah, it was the ESPYs. There was definitely the ESPYs. That's right.
They all spoke out and whatever. Even though LeBron was supporting, he wasn't the one out there. Which even if it was LeBron, I mean, you can't do nothing about LeBron. But all those players, all of a sudden, got this
stigma on
them as far as who they are, as far as a teammate and stuff like that. Like Melo was like top 3 in MVP, probably like that year before, and now all of a sudden he's somebody that's not a locker room guy. Even though everybody in the league always talking about they love Melo. Saying same thing about Chris Paul, which we all, or at least me or Sean, are not personally Chris Paul fans because he keep punching people in the junk.
Yeah, he got bitch assness to the highest level. Yeah, he's on my shit list.
But he was labeled as a good guy as far as doing stuff in the community, right, and things like that. Now all of a sudden, especially after that fight with Rondo, he's a guy that you can't have him support a younger player or stuff like that. So It just seems to me it's like they're putting out these like Jalen Rose always say, they're putting out these labels that you can't prove or deny. You know, oh, he doesn't work hard in practice, or you know, he doesn't support the younger players in the locker room. Like, how can you validate that? You know what I'm saying? You know, or how you deny it. You know, it's amazing how that always comes up when it's time for you to re-sign a contract, or you're in the midst of demanding a trade or something like that. So,
right. And Wade became old all of a sudden.
right. But then he goes back to Miami and getting buckets and hitting game winners. Game winners.
Yeah, right. He was alive again, you know. So it was just like weird how that he was he fell off for a couple of years, then gets kicked out of Miami, goes to Cleveland, still didn't do nothing but like you said, do a reunion tour back in Miami. Then all of a sudden he's rejuvenated.
Right. So
that theory did make it made a lot of sense of how that had all came into place there.
But never know. Like I said, Melo will be the better fit because it needs somebody to play that stretch forward position. But to me, Dwayne Wade would not be an option because unless he's going to play point guard, which I don't think
not in the West.
He don't have that ability to guard Dame and Steph and De'Aaron Fox and cats like that.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
But again, it's we're not even in October yet. I feel there's going to be another big trade that comes up and happens, or another big transaction that happens, or injury, or something that changes a team or changes the conference outlook.
True.
And it's going to be a whole different approach.
Right. I was have to see something happening around Christmas. But like you said, something still got happening. And right before the beginning of the season too, to get that buzz back going on.
But this is going to make one of the best NBA years ever because of how open and how much diversity these teams have, and it's not juggernaut teams. It's a balance of duos instead of having triplets and quadruplets on these teams. Right. So even though a lot of teams making moves, it's going to be a small time frame as far as adjustments and getting to gel. So the teams that didn't make moves, I think I said on a previous podcast, is those teams might get to early jump on them. They may have teams like the Rockets that get out to early 16-2 start because they pretty much have their team intact versus Portland too versus like the Clippers that have a bulk of their team come in.
Yeah, Indiana same kind of situation.
The Nuggets.
Definitely the Nuggets.
Yeah, they just Bobo.
Bobo.
No, Manute Bol's son.
Manute Bol went to.
I thought he went to the Nuggets.
It might be the Nuggets. Bobo. I can't remember. I know Taco Falls went to the Celtics.
Right.
Bo, he did go to the Nuggets. You're right, because I was looking at them and I was like, they got Bobo and Michael Porter Jr. as far as if they can get healthy, that they can be big impacts. So, yeah, like there's
Philly is still intact.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, there's a few teams. The team that one of the sleeper teams I'm looking at too is Atlanta.
Yeah.
They could.
I'm saying something. With Atlanta because like they kind of trying to make themselves, Golden State East around it because I know like the GM was under that Golden State umbrella in the past there, and I see what he's trying to do over there, and I kind of like what they're doing.
This
I see
is what I see, and this is what I've heard. Jaylen Brown's from Atlanta.
Mm.
The Celtics didn't want to pay him what he wanted. He comes to Atlanta, so you're gonna have Trae Young. What's that? What's the guy they drafted this year? Hunter.
Yeah, definitely.
And Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, Herter, Jason Collins, and then whoever you get at center. That's a solid team. Like in the East, especially in the East. You know,
Right.
you got shooting and length. Because when I went to that event for at that park, like Cam Reddish was a legit 6'9", 6'8", 6'9". Like he's not and he's technically a 2 or a 3. Like he's legit tall, legit, and with legit length. So I think they're gonna surprise a lot of teams.
So what's this thing I saw? Justice Winslow want to play point guard?
That's kind of what he played like towards the end of the year last year, like a point forward type thing. Because they was having Josh Richardson do it, and that just wasn't working. So they had Winslow handle the ball, and had Richardson playing off the ball and shooting more. And Winslow can guard some point guards. He can guard 1 through 3, so I mean it kind of makes sense.
Okay.
But between Butler, Winslow, and Dragic, that's what you're looking at your perimeter players to start games with, along with the rookie hero. But
oh God, that boy,
his game is nasty.
Ooh, yeah, that's why.
He's Devin Booker-ish. So
Yeah.
like he's a guy that he can probably go off for 40, but at the same time he probably can go off for 5. But with the team that he's playing with, it will be less pressure. Because I don't know how well he plays on defense, but between Winslow and Deion Waiters and Butler, it's going to be tough for him to get minutes
Exactly.
if they're healthy. But we all know Deion Waiters, injury prone. Justin Winslow, injury prone. Jimmy Butler, injury prone. Dragic, injury prone. So you, as a rookie, you're guessing that most likely one of these guys is going to be out at some point or another. So I'm gonna get them minutes. So, and he's a better shooter right now than all of them.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah.
So it's going to be I think Miami is going to be one of those teams that is going to jump out early. Like I said, especially in the East, they don't have much competition to deal with over there. But the inside is going to be where they're going to need to make it work. Even though losing Whiteside, even though personality-wise he wasn't a fit, but it's still hard losing 7'1", 260 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. But that has made Portland better, though.
Yeah. So you think they have? I know they had Nurkic.
Yeah, he's still recovering.
So they'll put Gasol. They'll have Gasol coming off the bench.
Yeah, I think so. Have Gasol come off the bench and play Whiteside and what's the rookie, the young boy they had, Collins.
Yeah.
You start them two, and then you take it from there.
But I look for that cat from Villanova. He went to Milwaukee. He probably got lost down the bench there. But with Brogdon gone, was it?
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I can't pronounce names, but he played well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that the Bucks wasn't really worried, because they knew that they have somebody else that can come in, even though Brogdon can play some point. But you're not really worried about, especially when you commit your money to Bledsoe. Even though now in hindsight you probably wish you had Brogdon over Bledsoe, but I think overall you still can be a better team without having to be so cap strong.
Yeah.
Between Bledsoe and Brogdon, because like Brogdon is good, but I also don't think he's $20 million a year good.
Right.
But at the same time, if you can flip flop Bledsoe for Brogdon, I'll definitely do that. But they already made that commitment mid-season with Bledsoe. But at the same time, Brogdon is also injury prone.
Yeah, he definitely
He
was.
has that. He got I don't know what the term they use, but that broken foot thing. He had that in college, and he broke it again in the league. So it's a potential ongoing problem. So the Pacers got to take over that.
But my dream matchup, my dream championship matchup, hopefully 5 or 7 years from now, is Hawks against Pelicans.
Oh man,
Atlanta and New Orleans.
can you imagine that back and forth in a series?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Like the strength of New Orleans would make Atlanta become Hawks fans for the first time ever.
right? They'll be Hawks fans just for that because
Right. They'll be just off of GP. Like they gotta be fans now because they're going against New Orleans.
ain't nobody out here like I've been out here since 2010. Ain't nobody out here be repping for the Hawks. Like there's a couple cats I work with, but that's about it. Like literally, when I say a couple, I mean like a couple less than two. There ain't nobody out here that's going hard for the Hawks like that. Like I used to kick it with the Hawks because when I back home, before we had the Pelicans and / Hornets, the only teams I was able to get on TV growing up was the Knicks because they'll be on TV on Sundays. WGN with the Bulls. And the Hawks on TBS.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love some Dominique. I love Steve Smith, Mookie Blaylock, Kevin Willis, all them cats. So like when I come out here and see that they don't give no kind of support for the Hawks, even when they had Joe Johnson and Marv and Josh Smith when they was making the playoffs run.
Yeah, wait, even when they were the number 1 seed?
Yeah, they wasn't. Nobody was talking about the Hawks out here like that. That's crazy. Like you can eat. Like the tickets used to be cheap, like crazy cheap. But now since they got the little buzz and they built a new stadium, like I was looking for season tickets and they taxing now. But yeah, there was no kind of real buzz for them boys out here. So
yeah, because Taylor didn't get a buzz until like 2 Chainz started showing love.
Yeah.
You know, like he finally got to a level he needed to be. Then now people now want to acknowledge him.
But it also started when they redid the stadium. So that's really when it happened. Because then that's when they started reaching out to those local artists to try to get that buzz. So
and Grant Hill and them took over that new management team and everything.
So this it is what it is, but it's going to be. It's going to be.
Like you said, but they valid Falcon fans too. It's just they're not a. Atlanta's just not a sports city.
It's just one of the worst sports towns I've heard.
It is because there's so many people that comes from other cities that's out here. So it's definitely a sports city. It's just the fact that there's so many people from Louisiana, so many people from New York, so many people from Ohio, stuff like that. So it's just the fact that it's
not a local sports town.
Exactly.
It's where you see the Saints are playing there.
You see more Saints jerseys.
So you can't have Saints fans coming in.
But it's now when the Saints, they're ready to argue with the Saints, but any other teams, they'll just let them come in with their Lions jerseys and Eagles jerseys. Like I'm pretty sure, like right now, there's
a lot of Eagle people out there and stuff.
People out there from Philly, and they cool with that. But if it was Saints, it'll be a whole different
Oh,
story.
yeah, because the disrespect of them ignorant fools from our city is real, dude. Like, they can't help it. It's like, yo, there's a different energy. Fools come in and say, yo, this is our city for the day. It's like, whoa, now. Y'all going a little step too far. But they mean it, and they actually do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that works.
So moving on from sports, we want to touch on a funny topic, funny song, I guess you can say. So this Sean brought this up. This Life Jennings recent album. I don't even know. I can't even think how he began to even write this song.
Like this. That was I don't know, that was one of the worst lyrics I've heard ever in an R&B song. I would expect that from like a hip hop song to the fullest, but like, boy, I legitimate like you singing this and you can hear these words clearly, and I'm trying to find I'm like I can't even find the lyrics to the song, so I can just like even point how bad this song is. It's called off the rip. It's called Slave, so that's bad off the rip. It's called,
especially in the R. Kelly time frame that
yeah.
we in.
Yes, but then he was naming all kind of foul stuff dealing with animals and shit. This was horrendously bad. Like, yo, what? Like I said, because Charlamagne the God posted it. It is like he made the greatest point. Like, this clearly shows this man has no friends.
Because wasn't he MIA for a minute? Like,
well, yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah, he went back to jail for a minute
Lord.
and things like. Yeah, and he's definitely part of the hell of a drug club, because you got to be on some type of drug to around here write them kind of lyrics.
If I'm his probation officer, I'm showing up to his spot
with a cup.
with a cup.
Yeah, like, cause no, like those lyrics. Oh man, I just want to be able to. If I could remember them. It's almost like they're so bad. I'm glad I don't remember them. But it was just like.
So for the listeners out there that have not heard the song, so basically, Life Jennings, on this song, he basically describes sexual intercourse as a master to slave situation.
Well,
I guess you can say.
From what I can remember,
and animals.
Yeah, the animals is what I remember most. Is I got the pussy wet like two wet dogs, dripping like two wet dogs,
shaking like two wet dogs, or whatever he says.
Yeah, got that ass jumping like a frog.
Yeah, got that ass jumping like a frog. Yeah, like, yo, like, what the fuck is we like? What is you doing here, man? Why would you even? I understand you're independent now. I respect the fact that you're independent.
Ain't no major label listening to that album and released it.
Like, I was getting ready to. I was like, literally was getting ready to listen to the whole album, because I said, oh, he got a new joint out. And then for Charlamagne the God and Amanda Seales to do that, they just like, I don't even want to listen to the album at all now. And
I got the album just off the strength of the first one, because he had a couple of bangers that I loved.
Yeah.
Back on that one.
Because this is history. Like, he's always had hits every now and then. He even a single or two pop up. So just off the strength, because of the first album, you just show love regardless. And he doing his independent thing. I was gonna give it a shot, but now, listen, just off the strength of that song, like
pass.
Okay, I don't know about
but you know what though? This song, when I heard this, it hit home for me, because my oldest son, he's into the arts. He's acting, wants to be singer. He writes his own poems, writes his own songs and everything. And he had an idea for a song yesterday that we was kind of looking at him side-eyed. And then when he wrote it down, I'm like, all right, let me sing it. He's like, no, I don't want to sing it. Like, I'm sitting up there like, man, this is part of being an artist. You got to put yourself out there.
Right.
Then I hear this. Like, nah, man.
Keep that to yourself.
Keep that to yourself.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
It's like, man, because he was feeling embarrassed. I'm like, no, do it, man. I'm your daddy, man. I'm not gonna judge you. Like, somebody should have judged this man.
Right.
Right.
Somebody need to raise the flag on this one.
Right. Oh, like I said, I wish I could have been in that room with him, man, because I'd have nipped that in the bud ASAP. I say, ain't no, like this, man. I can't ever tell you I'm your old friend and allow you to put this shit out here, man, because this is hard. This is horrendous. Then what drug was you taking when you wrote this? Because you need to stop taking that drug, like right now. And I mean right goddamn now.
Expeditiously.
You hear that? Like, you still on probation, right?
Exactly.
Right.
That was the first thing I'm like, too. Like, yo, you know you better go back to jail, right?
They got the cup waiting on you.
Because the cup is super waiting on you right now.
Imagine that probation officer coming to work tomorrow. His ass machine, hey, Life Jennings, one of your probationers folks, right? Yeah. Man, you might want to go check him out. Why, man? He been a model citizen? No,
Let's do a new album. Let's do a new album real quick, and then tell me what you think after you listen to that new album.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to go do your job because you slacking right now.
I'm sure he missed a couple of dates there. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, something ain't adding up here right now.
Yeah, man. That's that guy. That guy.
That was like, oh, dude, it really made me cringe. Like, I had to post it how bad it sounded.
And I had, like I told you, I had the album, but I don't remember hearing that song. You know, I listen to a lot of my stuff on shuffle, so maybe it skipped over that song.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You listen on shuffle, then you definitely missed it. It was like the third song on there. If you would have just went in the proper order, because I go in the order of, like, every time it's something new, I go straight in the order.
Yeah,
I do that too. I do that too, but I don't think I did it for that album. I think I had that weekend, there was a bunch of stuff that came out, so when I was at work, I just put everything new that came out that week on shuffle, and it was just listening.
I knew he dropped something, and I was getting prepared to listen to it. But then I saw this, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to listen to this now.
Nah, man, I can't. I can't.
Pussy dripping like two wet dogs.
I'm like, what?
The visual.
Dude, like, that's the problem with me. I'm too visual, dude. Like, I could see this stuff like too vivid. Like, no, I don't. No, don't do this to me. I can't do it. And I was like, you know, just messed up the whole album for me, man. I wanted to listen to some new R&B, and I was looking forward to it.
No.
And then this is what you give me? Nah, put you on the shelf for life now. Literally.
I think he really singing to a subculture that a lot of people ain't ready for.
Yeah, it's called prison life.
Mm-hmm.
We about that life. Like,
that's the only life I know. Street life.
Yeah, he's sticking straight to that street life, yo. And he can keep that one, yo. He went way left. Super left.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if you need some R&B, I think Johnny Gill.
The Johnny Gill joint was definitely a good album.
I ain't listened to
that
it
was
yet.
a good joint. I listened to it. I checked that out. I accidentally sent the song to the second ex-wife by accident.
No accident.
That made her
No accident.
No, it was an accident. No, like, I'm gonna tell you no. Let's go break this down, yo. It was by accident. Like, what I was doing was I was just sending her. I sent it through YouTube. So I sent her that whole album through YouTube. But it was like I tried to set the whole album, but what happened was it broke it down and went in the song she got. Yo, the song she got on the album was better friends than we better to be friends than lovers. And I was like, oh shit, I done fucked up. And this stuff got all emotional on me. And I was like, oh god damn. My bad. I told her my bad. I wasn't doing that attention. I didn't.
Oh,
It don't matter. Malice here.
that's still
No.
again. That's still not an accident. You purposely meant to have the music. Nah.
No, yeah, I would have. Yeah, cause she's a big New Edition fan, so I just sent it to her because of the New Edition vibe. So I was sending her the whole thing. You know when she pressed it though, that was the first song that came up though, and I was like, and she was like, "Yo," she said, "Yo, man, you got me all emotional." I was like, "What the fuck wrong with you? What you mean you're emotional?" And then she told me what happened. I was like, "Oh, damn, my bad. I wasn't trying to sing you that song. I was just trying to sing you the whole album."
There you go. There you go. Once again. Nah. But I haven't listened. I got it. I downloaded it, but I just haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, so listen to that. Yeah, just listen to the daggone song. Yeah, it said. I think it was like, better friends than better to be friends than lovers, something like that. Deal. And I like, yo, of all the songs, that's the song we get. That's it. Only me. Only me. I wasn't trying to be malicious and everything. We cool. We actually cool people.
Yes, y'all cool, as I witnessed.
Yeah, you see, we still cool like that because I had him on 3-way with us this week. Show him that we cool.
Oh,
that was a shot. I was just calling, talking about, hey, Anthony. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna feel awkward. I have my awkward reasons.
Hey man, I'm cool with all my except for the mother of my children. So y'all know how this is how I roll. Like everybody I'm cool with except for that person. So that's the only one I don't like on God's green earth. Everybody else I'm cool with to a certain extent. Now the second ex one took a minute for us to get back cool. The beef was real. But we back cool.
Okay.
Put out little differences to the side.
Takes time.
Well, and I got my petty gratification also that out when as I got screwed and one of the ones she decided to be with screwed her over, so I felt good.
Classic gratification. I'm envious.
So that made me feel good, So y'all know how I roll. I'm a true Aquarius. The petty game is real.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, we talked that out, and now we back. We're cool and civilized in these streets.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Hey, Minnesota's still weak. Capital T on that sauce. No, but don't include KG on that. The kid, we gotta represent for him. I almost had a KG jersey. I just didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it, but I still gotta go get one. I think they online. I have to go snatch me one. Yeah, I like Missy Elliott. I really like watching Missy Elliott. Her videos, music. Yeah, she golden. All right, dude, y'all be easy.
Thanks for joining us on episode 4 of the Trophyz and Medals podcast. Please, if you can, go on Anchor, leave us a message just like you heard. Again, thank you for joining us. Like, listen, comment, share, rate us. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be back next week again with more sports, music, and entertainment. One love.